Hello everyone, peace be with you. Welcome to this Jacko Club's production. Today we are going to be jumping into the much beloved, fantastical world of Tamriel. I hope that you enjoyed this video. Thank you very much for being here. Please consider liking, subscribing, and ringing the bell button for notifications if you do. You can find us on various social media platforms linked in the description below. Without further ado, let's get into it. Yeah, necromancy, another topic. Because we came across that guy who kind of got himself killed doing it. And it wasn't clear that he was a necromancer doing it for nefarious reasons. Entirely possible that he was
Some good pieces out here if you're looking to buy. More inside.
a man mourning the loss of a loved one and trying to bring them back. It's a fairly relevant religious question. 'Cause a lot of people argue about it in certain contexts because of there's certain pagan rituals that have to do with talking to the dead. Debate within monotheistic religions about how possible it is. Whether those passed beyond the veil are awake and aware and alive, or if they are still dead, waiting for the rapture within Christian circles, or even other religions, whether they're really walking around up there right now, or waiting for some future event. If they are, can they hear you? And those are all important discussions for that almost all warrant time of their own. But the very specific question is one of, in this case, I think is one of how we deal with grief when it comes to why necromancy is so often considered wrong, in my opinion, rightfully, or I won't even say in my opinion, just rightfully so considered wrong, both historically, biblically, by so many.
What's the matter? You can't stand the sight of a strong lord woman?
Oh dear, you're cringy. Anyways, it has something to do with how we relate to grief, right? I think that is the big question mark when it comes to necromancy. And we accept people beyond the grave. Because even if you say you take, I'm Catholic, the perspective that people are alive up there, alive and well, and are able to be communicated with. Or if you take,
Got some good pieces out here if you're looking to buy.
even if you take the position that they are going to be alive up there but are not yet. In either case, there's something to be said about it not being really one's place to defy death. Death is something that is within... Okay. Shut up, shut up, shut up, shut up. I wasn't talking to you. Stop harassing me. Anyways,
There's a nip in the air. Cold won't be good for my crops. Never is.
where am I going with this? Something goes wrong when you're trying to defy death, because death is a good thing. That's essentially the crux of it. Is that death is not something that one should try to get around, to try to undo, when viewed in a religious context. Because death is viewed, it has to be viewed if you're going to have a religious view in which the prevailing power of deities is ultimately good, or at least just. You have to believe that death is something that is good and just, because it's something that comes from above. Or it enters into the world in the Christian sense through sin, as a result of sin. And re-sanctifies a person, at least contributes to that. Is a part of justice. It's why it was able to be something that played into the redemption of all mankind through the suffering and death of Jesus Christ. That is not an evil thing. That when someone's time has come, it is really their time. And that death is something to be ultimately celebrated. Not to be feared, not to be... that mourning is not something for one to really dwell upon, to indulge in, or rather something to let go of. And when you try to undo that, when you try to mess with fate or play God, there are going to be repercussions of that, because the same person who set the rules of death into place, set the, you know, designed everything else in life to operate around that system. A system that is ultimately always going to lead back to them. And psychologically speaking, being able to accept death, or being able to be at peace, essentially, in every scenario, including through pain and suffering and loss, is an essential to have a fulfilling life. And so it will ultimately lead to your destruction no matter what, when you try to go around it. Not that death is not something to be avoided out of even love of our own loved ones, but ultimately duty. I think as an issue that a lot of religions that believe in a resurrection of a sort, a pleasant afterlife, struggle with is, why don't we just commit suicide? Because we are duty bound to be here. Life has a purpose, and its purpose, though originally designed to be just for our pleasure, has been changed into one of justice, and it becomes one of pleasure again after the work of justice has been fully completed, which is done through full fulfillment of sanctification. They only come once everything that was corrupted has been fully torn down and reborn, and that includes the body. Alright. I think I'm only going to have limited success on that today because I didn't think about it much beforehand, didn't have time to think about it much on the break. You can see I'm mumbly. So we'll leave it there and just continue on with our adventure from here. Didn't mean to do that. Where are the other baddies at? Baddies! Squeeze me? Are you who I was sent here to kill? Like I have a mission to kill. You eliminate the leader of this panic group. I'm gonna assume it's him. I was gonna try and shoot him while he's down, but he's just down. Alright, I have a bounty to collect. Did not make that hard on us. Grateful for that, at least. Attitude of gratitude. For a bandit leader with a bounty on his head. Not really put up a lot of fight and did not have a lot of great loot of his own. Well, off we go. Our next location of interest. I actually got someone else I gotta talk to before I go in there. This is kind of glitched out. I think we have to come back. The tavern owner. Talk to him about just who this person in there was. And he gives us the claw. We use the claw to finish out the barrow and get to the Dragonstone. The last time I tried to do this.
Keep an eye out for wolves if you're headed up the path to High Hrothgar. We don't get many visitors through here, unless they're headed up to High Hrothgar, of course.
See, maybe if we propped here.
Some fella named Windelius came through. Said he was some kind of a treasure hunter. I warned him not to go in there, just like I warned you. The very next night we heard screams from the barrow, and that was it. We never saw him again.
Come on, I encountered the man. I'm supposed to be able to ask him about what goes on in there, and he just...
Keep your eyes open in the barrow.
I even have a quest. I have a...
That's how they get you.
Where is it? Oh, go J. Journal. Talk to Wilhelm about Rada. Oh, that's not...
Need a room? Maybe.
That's this.
He's harmless. He's been in a state ever since his sister Rada disappeared over a year ago.
PB is 96% base today.
What's left
Heck
of his
yeah.
folks' farmhouse across the river. I just said that to make the poor guy feel better. I'm pretty sure she's dead. Rada would gather ingredients from the small island in the river east of here. Then one day, she just vanished.
The least we can do
I
to
tried
check it
look
out.
for her, but she never turned up.
Okay, will you talk to me? No, he still wants to talk to me about that. He won't
I
talk to me
see
about the
some
barrow.
Sort of a cave entrance over there. Folks call it Geirman's Hall, but I don't know why. Probably best if you avoid it for now. It didn't seem to do Rada any good.
Oh, I don't like the idea of just leaving that poor man to grieve his loved one without knowing what happened, let alone leaving such a dangerous location right next to a village.
Stop by for a
He
drink.
still belligerently won't talk to me about the quest he sent me on, and I don't know why. But I guess we'll just never finish it. This barrow will be eternally unexplored. But in the meantime, check this out again.
It's a Nordic rune, thousands of years old.
I did figure that much. Yep. Thanks, Uthgerd. Ever useful? Let's go see if we can't find out what happened to Rada. Ooh, this wasn't in this video, but there's a man in the village who has a house burnt down, family's gone, and then his sister was out collecting food, and she never returned. Most people suspect she's dead, and this drove that man basically insane from grief. I guess he's supposed fairly topical. And closure is necessary, which is also contributes to immoral ails or moral issues with necromancy. There's a need for closure, and we are going to try to give that man some. We'll enter this cave and see if we can't just figure out what happened to Rada. Something killed her and dragged her away, perhaps. Because we don't really want to jump all the way down there. An adventurer. Interesting. Well, we will take his book and health potions to get us along our way. What is this place? The history of Skyrim is vast, predating even the most ancient records of man and mirror. Just been lost. I'm just gonna speed through this to see if there's anything particularly interesting. The one we're looking at, the story we're here for. Among scholars, perhaps the best known is the forbidden legend of the Archmage Galdr. In the dawning days of the First Era, the story goes there lived a powerful wizard by the name of Galdr. Wise and just, he was well known in the courts of King Harold and the Jarls of Skyrim, and his aides and counsel were sought by man and mer alike. Then he was murdered. Some say one of his sons killed him, others that King Harold, jealous of his power, gave the order. But Galdr's 3 sons fled into the night, pursued by a company of Harold's best warriors, and the Lord Geirmund, the king's personal battle mage. A great chase ensued from the wilds of the Reach to the glacial north. One brother is said to have perished in the ruins of Folganathur at the foot of Solitude. The others were run to the ground soon thereafter, and once it was done, King Harold ordered every record of their murders destroyed. And Galdr's name and deeds were struck from the rules of history. Even today, few sources remain, and no bard will tell the tale. Perhaps the truth yet remains in some ancient ruin waiting to be unearthed, for nothing is ever truly forgotten. So that's what this man was investigating. This man we found dead, and it seems he has some reason to believe This area may have something to do with it. That's our way out, clearly. And not a way in. I take a little bit of a risk there, but buried treasure, ancient evil, closure for poor morning man. Plenty of reasons to take the risk, to take the plunge. There's clearly something that way, and also clearly something over there. Both are potentially dangerous, and both potentially lead to the answers we seek. Pretty good things back here, but nothing we need. It appears someone was buried there. Who exactly? It's hard to say. May have been one of those brothers we were just reading about. Anything else? Whoever's behind this door sounds like creatures. Ah. I was hoping for skeevers. A little bit of shock and awe. Uthred's back with us. Locked door. Off in the first place you want to look. I should have finished clearing the area, but nothing else came. I very loudly took out those spiders, so. Interesting. Imperial armor here. I'll return that to its holder, but perhaps an Imperial expedition was sent here at some point to also unearth the secrets of this ancient cave. Or perhaps those from one of the soldiers that was sent in search of the brothers from Solitude. That chest was trapped, so we're very going to quickly move away. Very quickly, I should say. Iron gauntlets aren't really of use to us. Let's press on. Ah, there's very clearly a Draugr right there. That was a fail. Preemptive strike. Successful one at that. Wish we had started with that one. Restless ones are far more deadly than the normal variant. What could that... do we have to change these things to? Get to see the indicators that tell us what they're for, even what they open. Aw. Disappointing we got there first. Should open that, theoretically. Well, it's also possible that it's already open. And we need is beyond that door. Turn on booby trap. No, it is not. That's a booby trap, though. You know, in one of our previous episodes, I mentioned something that looked like that being a wasted opportunity for a booby trap. Now I know that not only did they miss it, but they had it in the game's code already for something else. They could have put it there, and they didn't. Okay, so, this is quizzical. There's only 4 things. 2 whales in different corners, and then falcon and snake. I suppose there's 4 things, but which is which? Assume that's just metrical. Oh no, this was a whale. Oh, but like the right wall is the right wall and the left wall is the left wall. Big brain. I have apparently been noticed. He's apparently also noticed that arrow in the last few seconds before all brain activity ceased. Alright, that Shad man is ready to leave us. No, he's back. Ow! Uthgard! Get in the way. Alright, we know he has friends. Where are they? From the sounds of it, they're activating their own traps somewhere. Where's this trap? Ah! There he is. It's not a trap or anything. I feel like I know the word Croesus. I feel like I've heard it before in a shout. Well, that or Parthenax used it at some point. But we found a way to get him down from there. So, that Archmage you're reading about, the one who was coming seeking the powerful advisor Galder, or whatever his name was, we took his key, laid to rest here with a scroll of dead zombie, really of all things. Lord Geirmund, Archmage of Windhelm, Lord Battlemage to King Harold. Magnus, keep thy vigil eternal. Serve now in death as you did in life. By these seals our realm preserve. From traitors three and their charm of strife. So Magnus, for reference, is the god of magic. Deity of magic, more specifically. He's not really considered a god in the game. He asks him to keep eternally vigilant over the land he is charged with protecting, and to take care of the people he was sent to seek out. Because he was ultimately not able to do so before his passing, apparently. Which is weird, he's laid entombed here. Like, how does no one know about that, you know? Like, did this exist beforehand? This, and then they just laid him to rest in there, where all these draggers were already here? Or this where he and a lot of his men were buried just after the fact? Are these even his men? Plenty of unanswered questions. An interesting peek ahead. It looks like he should have someone of powerful magical abilities set up shop here. Given that right there. Let's possibly set up a base here for a while he was looking for his enemy. And this is simply where he passed. Guten Tag. She said, "Aww, you cute." That's what I took from that. Okay then. Must be some other way to activate that bridge. I think, is this a noose? What is that? That'd have been used for a light, perhaps? Is that how? Barod, whatever his name is, met his end. Took his own life because he couldn't complete his task. And moved him over there, but where did his men end up? If it's a barrow, it's entirely possible they got trapped down here, because it didn't look like that door was closed, and I haven't known them to close on their own. Ah! If I hadn't seen anything that would let me drop the ladder. Excuse me. Beg your pardon. Trying to find my way through. No. Is that dragger running? He is. Ah! Okay, so that trap actually worked to our benefit. Ow. Ow! It was rusty, so rusty that it gave me ataxia. Disease. I'm going to use my cure disease potion. Oh well. Apparently didn't hit Uthgard somehow. Making my sacrifice somewhat worthless. This place sure loves its, like, drops of no return. Though we probably could parkour our way back up there. Search the lowlands first. Scope out the area before we inevitably wake up that whatever boss is in there. Speaking of which, seems advisable. Well, without further ado, we can discern from that this was someone we can't already tell from this, an honored person. Yeah, counselors of sort. This is the man he chased, so I did say whatever happened I think was the first age, or at least perhaps was. In which case but I guess they never I don't know how this man eventually died. Perhaps they were all in league. That's what I'm thinking of now that we're here. Perhaps they were all in league. Use that. Push and regeneration, just so he can whittle down a little bit, and then we're just gonna go melee because. Alright, that's him. The potion. Save our level up to get extra health if we need it. Keep headshotting him for now because it doesn't take stamina. Interesting. His avatars can shout too. Leave your third alone, please. He apparently had Fus Roda. Feel a little bit less special. And this vile man could also shout. Uh-oh. He did an oopsie. There he goes. He just gave up. There they go. It was almost unfair. Yeah, he just gave up. We won, gang. It's a sad way for him to finally die. Only a fragment of his amulet. Is it wearable? It is. We'll take that bow. Clearly quite powerful. And now let's read this note about his passing. What happened? Be bound here, Sidgus, murderer, betrayer. Condemned by your crimes against realm and lord. May your name and your deeds be forgotten forever. And the charm which you bear be sealed by our ward. Okay, so someone killed this guy and his body somehow ended up here.
Come on, let's see you put up a fight.
But whoever buried him, or, hold on, wait. I need to consult this book again. What? It is interesting that we just fought a wizard who used mostly a bow. Known as being wise and just. So he was killed by someone. Either his sons or by the king. And he was pursued. His sons were pursued. So how did the pursuers of the sons and this man end up in the same spot? Maybe they didn't get them all? Oh no, the others were run to ground soon thereafter. So they were all killed. But Gehrmund was laid to rest with them. And I would make one think, you know, if he was laid to rest, Galder was laid to rest with that note. The person laying people to rest in this case would be the only person alive, would be the king. And it was not a flattering note, so it's likely the king had him killed. It is odd that he referred to him as a betrayer, but that may have just been him trying to cover up his jealousy with a just cause. But either way, whether the mage was full of spite or legitimately believed the king, he wanted to remain watchful over the body even in death. But he was laid to rest with them. Once again, it doesn't answer the question of who is using that chanting tape. Necromancer find its way down here at some point? Or did he, like, embalm himself? Like, set him up to be ready to die and then lay down there when he was finally ready? Or remain, oh, that's probably, he remained there in life, guarding the body until he died, and then decided to lay there. That's going to open up a quest line, so we'll get to that in just a second. Particularly useful there. That's all. Fairly.
We've stopped. What is it? What do you need to take?
Too heavy for us, but it will make for some nice loot.
What do you need to
Skyrim's menus again. Just talking about earlier in this episode. Somehow we're back to this level. Very odd. But we have bested that cave. I do have some curiosity as to how this adventure managed to die there. Like, what killed him up here? There was nothing dangerous up here. What a great video that was. Hope you'll consider checking out our various other accounts in the description below. We put out uplifting content 7 days a week. Thank you very much for watching. I really hope that you enjoyed it. There's a lot more awesome content on the way. May you be there to see it. May God bless and keep you, and may we all live in eternal communion.